what makes an artist easier. I think one that knows what they want, really. I think it's important as well.
So welcome to the show, Casey Sounds.
Much appreciated. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So, what got you into music?
What's got me into music? I've always had a love for music right from young. Getting into music production, into music wasn't something that I planned to do. Kind of fell into it, but had a love for music anyway. I just recently put up a YouTube video talking about my story, basically how I got into music production. But yeah, it's just a love for music. My long lost family, they are very musical musicians, singers, producers, especially my brothers had sound systems and that type of stuff. So yeah, it's inevitable that I would end up doing this.
So, would you say you'd had a genetic predisposition? I can never say the second. What?
It's been,
Yeah. But would you say you had?
yeah, because growing up, around my mum, family parties, my auntie playing music all the time. So yeah, music was is a big part of my life.
You said that you, in your video regarding your story to becoming a music producer, that you actually started on the Music Generator 2 on the PS2.
That's right.
What were you making on that? Game, software? I'm not quite sure what to call it.
It's kind of like sample different blocks of sound. So I can't remember exactly, but I think it was like a grid. So the grid will go in like in a BPM, and then you just place different sounds. So you'd have like a drum loop or bass loop, and just kind of like tying it all in together. So yeah, it just showed me like how to put things together, how to create sounds. It wasn't, for me anyway, I didn't get much out of it, but it gave me like a starting point. It gave me like a first to want to go further and find out how I can really make music.
Would you say it was a good stepping stone?
100%, yeah, for me anyway.
And then you made the decision to go back to college and university.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you? I was wondering, why didn't you decide to go back? Well, just learn online, like via YouTube courses, or was that not really an option?
I think for me is I didn't know where to start. I didn't have a clue what the steps were. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have anyone saying, this is what you need to do now. That's the next step. See, it was a case of just working it out for myself. I don't know, I can't remember how I found out about Confetti, but I heard about them, and it was a good idea for me to go to college, because obviously I want to get some teaching from tutors. I didn't think to myself, yeah, I'd go online and use YouTube, not in the way that I do now, or teach people to YouTube.
So you kind of winged it, essentially, or winged your way to music production?
I winged it in the sense of,
like you said, you did not really know the stepping stones or the steps to get to where you are today, so you just figured it out as you went along.
I think figured it out is probably a better way of putting it, because it's a case of, if you want to try and find something out for yourself and no one's telling you, then you have to go and find out how it's done. And I think for me, the type of person that I am, if I don't know something, I'm going to go and find out for myself and try and work it out. If you want to call it winging it, I say it's more figuring it out for yourself and trying to make sense of it, failing.
I actually kind of agree with you when you say figuring it out. It sounds a lot more thoughtful.
Yeah, I mean, we do wing it in a sense in some ways, but I just feel like winging it is like, I'm going to try and make a beat and then just, I don't know, just try and grow from there. It wasn't like that. It was more a case of, this is the steps that I need to take and this is the right route for me. Might not have been the right route, the quickest route, but it seemed to get me to where I am today. So.
Did you start a business selling beats straight after uni and college?
It was just after uni. I just got the idea from a friend once I broke my knee playing football. He told me about selling beats online, and then that's when I decided that I wanted to start selling beats, but I didn't. I was just learning and finding out the different things to put together before I actually sold a beat, to be honest. It is a hard thing to do. It's not easy.
What were the beats that you were selling?
What were they? Just a few beats that I put together, nothing special, just ones that I thought at the time were amazing, and I listened back to them now, and they're just not it at all.
Did you make that transition from that to doing music production straight afterwards, or did you try some stuff in between?
With my music?
Yeah.
I I think the time I was learning how to make beats, I was also learning how to mix and master. That's something I find really interesting. I think that the two and two went hand in hand for me, and it's just a case of just getting better and better at making beats and mix and mastering. I wouldn't say there was anything in particular that I was doing other than that to grow, apart from creating content and just get my name out there, trying to find artists and clients to work with.
How come you decided to become a music producer and not a music artist?
Because I can't sing and rap.
Oh.
If I could, I wouldn't bother with any artist. I'll just make my own beats, my own tracks, and I would be doing that myself. I can hold a note, can sing, can songwrite with artists and collaborate with artists, but for me to actually go out there as an artist myself, well, that would be a waste of time.
So you figured you'd take more of a supporting role for your music career?
My whole thing was more to be in the background of music production. I didn't want to be at the forefront, but because of the way things have gone, I have to be at the forefront. I have to show my face. I have to be the brand, so to speak.
So how did you build yourself up as a music producer if you wanted to be more in the background?
It's more a case of working, putting music out. It's for me, it's just a passion to create music. I've been creating music for years. I was creating music for years without getting paid. So getting paid was a bonus. It's the way things worked out, really. And then, yeah, I'm here today.
Would you say it was your natural calling to do music?
I'd say so, yeah, because I work with a lot of artists who are younger than me, and it turns out that working with youth was something that I was going to do somehow, and that's what I seem to be doing.
Yeah, because you said that you were building your business or your music production business whilst working at the House of Fraser, and that you were afraid to leave.
Yeah,
you were afraid to go because at one point you were preying on fate to be the thing that let you go, but it didn't happen. So how come you chose to stick around?
Having a family and mouths to feed. If I was just on my own and I was like in my teens or something like that, then probably would have made a leap a lot sooner. But because I had family to feed, bills to pay, whole different stuff and other things to do, pay for. So I was waiting for the right time, making sure that I got a good amount of money saved in it before I can actually say I'm going full time, because it wouldn't make sense to say I'm going full time and I'm not making any money off the music. If I had said I'm going to go full time as a music producer in, say, when I just left uni, then it wouldn't make sense.
So it was more of a logistical problem for you then?
Yeah, pretty much.
So what was the thing that made you leave the House of Fraser?
I was made redundant.
Really quickly, if you're enjoying this episode of KC Sounds, then don't forget to like, comment and subscribe so we can make the show bigger and I can bring on even more guests for your entertainment. Right, now back to the show. So what's your favourite thing about music production?
My favourite thing?
Mm-hmm.
I think is probably having the idea first and then creating it, and then for it to turn into something else, because it doesn't always come out the way that I think it will. And then, yeah, just creating something, and then at the end of it, it sounds like a beat or a proper song. And then I play it to my wife, and she likes it, and then I put it online, and they like it. So yeah, but at the same time, you have to be careful that you don't get sucked into putting your stuff online and thinking that everyone's going to like your music, because they're not. And if you don't get the feedback, and that's what you base your whole purpose on, then you're going to get crushed, and you're going to forget about who you are as a person and why you're doing this thing, because you have to have that self-validation for you, rather than someone else being able to give that to you. Because if you do that, then you're in trouble. They take away all your power. So for me, it's been a long time of getting my mind right, not worrying too much about feedback, good and bad. And while you put your music out there, you just let people decide whether or not it's good or not. And then when they're doing that, you're working on other things. So you're just always working and not paying too much attention to what's being said.
It's reps, isn't it? Where you just keep doing it over and over. Yeah.
Definitely. Daily. It doesn't stop. You have to do it daily, because I'm a thinker. I think a lot. I rather internalize things than talk, and yeah, you have to work on your mindset daily. What I do, it's a daily thing.
Yeah, because you put on your story that it took you 2,406 days to become a full-time music producer. What's kept you going for so long? Because most people would have quit about day one before day
Yeah,
1,000. Yeah.
exactly. That's the type of person I am. Once I'm into something, I start something and I like it, then I'm gonna pursue it until I get what I want. And if it feels like it's not working, then I'm gonna go. But I like making music anyway. Like I said, I've been doing it for years without getting paid, so it didn't make no difference to me. But I knew that's something that I wanted to make as a career.
Because it says you 20 years.
Well, 20 years since I made my first beat on PlayStation, and probably about 5 or 6 years since it was an actual business. Mm.
Is it because you've said that sometimes you should remix other people's songs to get your practice in?
Yeah.
What are your favorite types of songs to remix?
My favorite types of songs to remix would be, it really does vary because when I first started doing remixes, it was more dance music that I would be into at the time. Dubstep, I've done a few dubstep remixes that are on SoundCloud, and I've also done some R&B ones. So it all depends really. If I'm feeling what I'm hearing and I think I can create something different with it, I like the vocals. Let me take the vocals and create a new beat, then I'll do that. I've done remixes of Usher. What's her name again? Ellie Goulding. So all different ones. Grime artists like Wiley. But yeah, it just really depends on the vibe of the song, what I feel I can add to it.
What would your criteria be for not picking a song? So you listen to a song and you don't like it. What makes you go, I don't want to remix that?
I think it's just a vibe, really. Because if I hear a song and the first 3, 5 seconds of hearing the vocals and I like the vocals and it's something I can remix, then yeah, it's all about the vibe for me.
What makes a good song?
Good question. I think emotion, really. Emotion, the sounds that's used. If you're looking at it from, because when I started making music, I was just more into beats. Timbaland, how his beats are put together, the syncopation, the bass. I would listen to a song. I didn't really care too much. I didn't care too much about the lyrics until I got a bit older and started to appreciate lyrics and songwriting and singers and all that type of stuff. So for me, I'd say firstly, yeah, it varies in the song. So it's like the beat has to be on point. And then if the singer can add something to that, the artist can add something to that, then that will make a good song. So harmonies, song, sound choice, tempo, it all depends. It really does depend.
What's your opinion on AI songs and AI artists? Because I should have recapped my knowledge on this, but there was a couple months ago or last year, there was an artist, Grimes, who on Spotify she released like just standard music that she made, but she also released music of people using AI to remake her music. What's your opinion on all that?
AI is a tool. It's just there for us it's to enhance what we're doing. It can help with ideas. I know some people are a bit scared of it, thinking it's going to take over, but I don't think AI is going to be able to tell you about what it's done today. I mean, so we're always going to have that advantage. It's not going to tell you what it's been through. That's another advantage. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it can take people's vocals and make it sound like a real professional artist. I've done a video on that as well, and it's mind blowing what it can do. And yeah, I'm excited to see where it's going to go. I'm also apprehensive where it's going to go and how it's going to affect everything. So I'm just keeping an open mind.
It could go one or two ways, couldn't it? It could benefit us, or as the doomsday people say, it could be literally turn into Skynet.
Yeah, could get messy.
Very quickly. When you come up with songs, what are the creative ideas that go through your head that make you go, well, I want to take this and make it a reality?
I think most of the time it is a case of what I've been listening to, and I think, oh, I won't mind making something like that, and then I'll get some chords down, get the tempo, and then I'll have different ideas. So I might listen to a rap track that I like, and then I listen to a dance track that I like. Sometimes just merge the two. So and then when I do that, something else gets created. Mainly, it's not, I don't have like got to use it, but a flat minor chords and a scale and that one, and got to do this. It's just free flowing. I don't know if you know about the flow state, but when you're in the flow state, you just create. And if someone disturbs you, and you try to go back to it, you can't because you're at that flow state. So I think it's more of just getting in that zone and creating.
And how would people get into the flow state to create?
How would they?
Yep.
For me, it's a case of just being quiet and just having your headphones on, rolled off, and just creating. And you're just so focused on what you're doing, you don't even know that you're in a flow state. You just create.
What are your future plans for your music career?
Just to continue to grow, continue to do what I'm doing, continue to work with as many artists that I can work with, good ones, talented ones, and at the same time help upcoming artists, especially because I work with a lot that don't really know what they're doing or how to do certain things, and to be able to have so much experience and help them as well, I feel like I'm giving back. You know what I mean? Whereas when I was coming up, I didn't really have no one to I could tap into that. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to do that, yeah, just continue to be amazing.
Last question. What makes an artist easier to work with than others?
Yeah, that's a good question. What makes an artist easier? I think one that knows what they want, really. I think it's important as well to know how good you are and to be able to take feedback and direction, and not to be too set in your ways, because you can have an artist that has potential to grow, but they think that they're already amazing, and then when they send you some stuff and you're like, well, this could be better, and then kind of clash. But I think it's more a case of who's on the same page, same energy, good vibes. You just know, it's like just meeting people in general. If you don't vibe, it's not gonna work. There's no point in forcing it, even if you're getting paid well. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
I remember, I forget which audiobook I've listened to so many, where the person narrating it said talented people are the worst to work with because they've got such an basically an inflated ego.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly, the ego.
That's something I have to work on.
The thing is, you need some ego. You need a bit of that, but just know when to pull it back a bit. And do you know what I mean? Just be cool. Sometimes you don't need to have so much ego. Just relax.
KC Sounds, everyone. Where can people find you if they want to learn more about you?
They can find me on Instagram, KC Sounds, and YouTube, KC Sounds. Yeah, those two places.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that episode, then I've got the entire playlist here. I've also got clips here. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.